Crazy, crazy. Okay, did you want to do this? No. But the good news is I'm currently in a story with other, as you can hear. No. Okay, other. So I'm at awareness of other as a unit. Currently working species at the species level, which is human to human. So that's where I am. Oh, so this is your task. So during your human phase, you're asked, "Hey, what are you doing? What's next?" And so they're like, "What? Yeah, you're gonna die, and then what?" And they're like, "What? I'm gonna die?" Well, then they know they're gonna die. But then, what are you gonna do? Nothing. You're not gonna do anything. Be like, "Yeah, don't know." And then, okay, what was his name? Uh, uh, Neo. I think it was Neo. You know, you wouldn't think he was anything different than any other Neo. He's like, he's like, man, this just just why? Why is all this? Yeah. And then, at some point, you're going to be asked a choice. You're like, hey, you can remain the same. You can stay blue. Here's the blue. You just take that. Everything's the same. And the laws that you currently think are true will remain true. That's it. And then they're like, there's a few on the fringe, the misfits. And they're like, hey, what if? Okay, we were always on the blue side, but what if you could figure out something that could enhance your current blueness, but it's going to be red. So you'd have to think of every scenario that this could be true is the only way that this could work potentially. So that's where this unit is. So you wake up on the other side. Did that make any sense? Okay, so you wake up on the other side. You're like, okay, what? The current unit, you wouldn't want too smart because on the other side, that's not a good thing. So at some point, you cross over. Okay, you're in transition, and you cross over. How do I know this? It's just part of the rules. Or tell me something different, and then I could go. That's good. I'm not even really in my current story, but that's what the current unit on the other side is trying to connect with. Because once those two are connected, you're at the end of one story and the beginning of another. Okay, that's the length of what you're doing. Okay, so what else am I doing? So on the other side, he's going into an altered reality, and at this point, it doesn't even matter. So you'd be all hung up on, is this true or not? And you're like, at this point in the story, truth is a given. Your truth is a given. So there's the big truth and what you believe to be true, and you're good with your truth. You're in the Goldilocks zone. You're in this beautiful zone where, tell me what you think. I'm going to categorize what I think you are because I'm working currently on the psyche of the other. You're like, what? Yeah. So if I can figure out that I am separate at some level from other, which is already an embedded trait in the game, then you would think that the current unit, if he doesn't die right now on camera. Okay, so the bio exit. Oh, so there's two things that I'm working on. See, and I'm still a pretty young guy. So that's good. So if you're asking yourself big questions, which he is right now, is he? No, it's just flowing through him. That's where his reality is. So, because he's done with scale, so So what this unit did, he's not done with scale, because every time he comes out now, this is what's going to happen. What? Yeah. So you're going to be in burn rate. Until you're out of burn rate, that's burn rate is one of those things where, you either have the answer or you don't. That's it. You have the answer? I don't know. What's the question? How big is the question? What's the truth? See, because then if you're at like truth, at the truth stage, there's a bigger truth, and I'm like, okay, I'm out. And then you go out, and you're like, well, did I go into the bigger truth? And they said, almost, but you're smart enough to keep it going. I'm smart enough to keep it going? What? Yeah. That's all this is. So, but the beautiful thing of this is, so you come out to the other side. Do you have to explain this? I think so. So you come out. So whatever your reality that you know to be true is with you. So that's your little T. Yeah. He's a creator, though. Okay. So his little T is like this. And they go, oh, he's a creator on the other side. Because you would have to identify. You would have to know what a creator, producer, a knower, a finder. What's the other one? Hey, man, are you a seeker? Yeah. So those are the wanderings. So that's the first groupings. They're like, hey, man, what's going on? What's going on? Yeah, that's where I am. But one of my rule sets in which I'm experiencing, it's not really that difficult, is so you come out. And so why wouldn't, and this is what's fun, is if I listen to this back, I'll be like, yeah, why don't I do that? So that's what's cool, is within the entity through Canny, I have been able to, oh, look at that. Is that the ego? It's like, is the ego? I think the ego gets a bad rap. And everyone goes, oh my God, he just doesn't get it. What's the cost? Yeah. So right now, I can be ego, but what's the cost? If I can hone in what cost means to the unit, like, what's the cost? If you figure that out, like, okay, can I go into being cost? So from the cost standpoint, I'm like, I don't give a fuck right now. And you're like, what? If cost is like that, then, that's like, what? Yeah, cost, because you're making decisions that you could make, but have elected not to. What? Well, okay, so think. The game is how big is your story, the self story, and how does it integrate? And see, if you make a story that is an origin story, you're the seed, and everything, you become the seed. Yeah, see, I'm not even a seed yet, which is a good thing, right? When you know everything that follows. See, you become the seed thought of other when you know all of the rules. Like, it's because then you'd be like, well, that would be amazing. Yeah, but you would have to know everything. Do you want to know everything, or do you want to know nothing? Do you want to be full, or do you want to be empty? My gut goes, hey, I want to be a little of both. I don't want to be so hungry that I'm going all the time. And I'm like, well, yeah, because then when your hunger takes over, you have no control. You're like, really? That's what you're going to do? And then hunger goes, really? Do you hear this guy? Because the thought guy is just like, well, I know everything and blah, blah. No, he's the assembly point at the current state. So you take that point, that memory, whatever you want to call that little plot, and that's what you know. So the knower can bring out that card and go, oh, what? So what's your beliefs? And they're like, I don't have any beliefs. And they're like, oh, okay, no beliefs. There you go. Because at this stage, it's like, it's not debating. What is it then? It's just knowing, man.